We are back at it again, this time beginning on obviously Monday. This one also falling on the 7th day of August. Now down to just about hours that we're counting before school officially starts in Magoffin County. A lot of other districts, of course, already in classes, some as well, counting down the last few moments left before those bells ring and big yellow school buses will be rolling. Of course, all of our travel patterns and our schedules will be changing, whether you're a parent or have a child in the school system or not, because we're making way for them to getting, hopefully, very safely, of course, to and from school. So keep that in mind. Classes starting this Wednesday here in Magoffin County. With that said, I have a great deal of news to talk about this week. Several arrests and some other reports that I'm investigating and looking at over the course of the weekend. So many, in fact, not physically possible to get all the details gathered in time for tonight's show. However, that doesn't go without saying, or that goes without saying, that we have a lot of news to cover tonight. And methamphetamine at the forefront of several of our reports tonight again, and that's not going to change, nor has it been anything different in the past several weeks. Nevertheless, we'll also take a look though at a good story, and we'll see how well Operation School Shoe went over the course of the weekend. I got a new forecast, I got a bunch of birthdays on the calendar tonight, and a great deal of other things to talk about. We'll talk about it in a bit more detail here in the next day or so, as soon as I can get caught up on some other news, but we'll make mention of it tonight. Of course, we are now getting very close to that solar eclipse on Monday the 21st, and that's when, well, a lot of classes are being let out, a lot of schools are making arrangements. We'll talk about what the Magoffin County School, at least the high school, is doing for students, and have some more on that a little later. But here's one for you. The East Kentucky Science Center and Berea Planetarium, of course, in the campus of the Big Sandy Community and Technical College, is hosting an event to celebrate the All-American Total Solar Eclipse on the 21st. Of course, this, as we know, happens when the new moon moves in between the Earth and Sun, creating two shadows, a lighter shadow called the penumbra, the area of partial eclipse, and the darker, smaller shadow, that's the area of total eclipse. And here in viewing area and in Prestonsburg at the planetarium, the eclipse is going to begin right around 1:06 in the afternoon, with the maximum at the midpoint at 2:34 that afternoon. It will end at 3:57. Although the eclipse will not be total here in eastern Kentucky, as I spoke of, it will be at 94% of the sun being covered. So still, it's going to be a wonderful show. They asked me to remind everyone that a total solar eclipse hasn't been visible in the contiguous United States, in the lower 48, if you will, for 38 years. The next one not coming until 2024. So they wanted to give everyone a chance to experience this event, says the director of the center, Steve Russo. So the East Kentucky Science Center and Planetarium will be opening from noon until 5, free of charge on that day of the 21st. They will be webcasting on the planetarium dome, and weather permitting, there will be, of course, outdoor observations using special sun spotter instruments, and guests will receive free solar eclipse glasses. The Hubble exhibit will also be available for viewing until September the 9th. So if you've been on the fence about what to do, where to go, right there is going to be a prime opportunity to see, of course, a prime event that many folks just won't see again in their lifetime. And we may even be talking to them about that between now and then, sooner than later, because indeed it's just a couple of weeks away, literally 2 weeks away from today, I guess. With that said, before we get to our arrest and other news from over the course of the weekend, how about a little good news to kick off the program tonight, and an update with none other than our own Allison Lovely. I say that because she's always the one they ask, and so graciously she accepts to talk about, or to us, with Operation School Shoe. And this year, while I wasn't in town over the course of the weekend, I did have a camera that caught up with Allison at the end, or near the end, of the Operation School Shoe event. We can't help but not give them a little bit of due, because they have done such a wonderful thing now for the third year in a row here in Magoffin County. By the numbers, it had gone incredibly, amazingly great. Operation School Shoe 3.0. 8 churches, an unknown number of people and businesses who donated and helped, 100 volunteers, 500 pairs of shoes, all together going on what was a total of 924 feet.
Magoffin County picked it up 3 years ago. Our initial goal the first year was to buy 100 pairs of shoes. We were able to double that. This year, we've been able to buy over 500 pairs of shoes for the students in Magoffin County. We've got about an hour left today, and at last count, we had issued 386 students in Magoffin County. So we have over 100 volunteers here today helping us out with this. We've had 8 churches involved in this, multiple businesses in the county, individuals are involved. Everyone has donated money or their time today. So it's been a huge success, and we hope to continue this for many, many years to come.
And based on their success and the importance of this event, and that, well, let's just face it, that great feeling we all have when we get a new pair of shoes, especially for these students who got a really nice new pair of shoes. I think Operation School Shoe is only going to continue to get bigger and better and brighter. Now, you may have, if you were doing the math along with us, noticed that I said 964 feet at the beginning of the report, and then Allison said at that point, with an hour left, they were at 386 students and counting. Well, they kept counting to a total of 462 pairs of shoes going home with Magoffin County students just in time for them to come back to school with them on.
I think the sky's the limit. Going from 200 pairs of shoes the first year up to over 500 this year, we'll gladly buy 1,000 shoes and shoe 1,000 kids in the county if that's what's possible. We want the love of Christ to be what guides us. So if He sees fit for us to buy 2,000, 5,000 shoes for the county, we know that it's His will that will be done, and we'll gladly carry that out.
To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband.
I'm Attorney Don McFarland. We all know that times are hard, jobs are scarce. Most people that I know are struggling to support their families and make it through each day. Now imagine that you get seriously hurt while working on the job, and the insurance company for your employer refuses to pay wages and benefits while you are injured and cannot afford to pay medical expenses, household bills, and put food on the table to support your family. I can help. If you are being wrongfully denied workers' compensation benefits that you rightfully deserve, then give me a call and let me go to work for you. 349-9000.
Much more than diesel specialist, Black Smoke Performance is turning out excellent auto body collision paint and repair results with free quotes and estimates on everything from insurance jobs to that ding you got in the driveway. Custom lift kits, bed liners, winches, and accessories, and full diagnostics and repair on anything gas or diesel, from brakes to fluid changes to major auto repair. If you want it fixed, lifted, painted, customized, or just maintained, just call on the team at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville, 100 May Drive, or 349-8785. Need a little short-term loan? You find it right now at Parkway Gun and Pawn. That's right, where you can also find all this and more for pennies on the dollar. They'll give you cash today on just about anything worth $1. You can find new and used musical instruments, jewelry, games, tools, and much, much more. New and used long and handguns, ammunition. It's all at Parkway Gun and Pawn. Yes, Logan makes the best truck bodies on the market, and they also have a fully stocked warehouse of dump body parts, PTOs, hydraulic pumps, hoists, anything you need to get back on the road. And they are a full-service steel and aluminum service center. They keep I-beam, channel, angle, pipe, round rod, rebar, expanded metal, sheet metal, and aluminum all in stock. And if you've got a big project, they do commercial manufacturing to your specs. Logan, since 1904. Wanting you to have a healthier life means providing access to quality, affordable health care. And to do exactly that, Hope Family Medical Center offers full dental care with Dr. Pratt and his team, a pediatrician team of 3 doctors and nurses and moms, complete health care by family physician Dr. Kelly Pratt and nurse practitioners Mildred Sizemore, Gail Faria, Shannon Conley, and Heather Blair. behavioral health services with Kimberly Davis, with in-house lab testing and results, in-house x-ray and pharmacy, and all the caring, knowledge, and experience that these medical professionals represent
at Hope Family Medical Center.
A tire more than 25% low, about 8 pounds, makes you 3 times more likely, and worn-out tires 11 times more likely to be in a tire-related crash. Don't take your or their safety for granted. Come in for a free inspection, 6 months, no interest financing, the best price and best selection at Conley Tire in Staffordsville. Get your $10 tickets now for the 14th annual and perhaps biggest community day yet, featuring the incredible Rhonda Vincent and the Rage, and other headliners like the Dave Atkins Band, the Edgar Loudermilk Band with Jeff Autry, Toddy Preston and the Black Powder Express, and many, many, many more. And all the food, fun, games, and fabulous prizes that you can stand, all for just $10, and kids 12 and under, they get in for free. Community Day in the Ramey Park in Sagersville is Saturday, August the 19th. I don't think that you could have watched this program on just one of any of the last several weeks worth of programming days and not know that meth has just taken over the viewing area. And of course, much more than that. But here locally, and based on what news that I've been bringing you, approximately 90% of the recent drug arrests have centered around crystal meth, which has now replaced, at least for the time being, pills and pot and the more expensive and less pure meth that has been so often making the headlines for years, that made in those one-step labs, if you will, plastic pop bottles. And even though one of the several cases from over the course of the weekend that I'm about to report does involve that old and more primitive one-step meth lab operation type, it's all about crystal meth, beginning with the first of 3 cases out of Paintsville and Johnson County. The first case goes back to Thursday night. It was actually just before midnight Friday morning where the Johnson County Sheriff's Department, specifically Deputies Mullins and Prim, responded to a residence at 646 Coleman Branch in reference to a warrant service. However, when Deputy Mullins arrived on the scene, he saw through the open front door of the home a man inside that was later identified as David Tackett, smoking a glass pipe with a white crystal substance inside believed to be methamphetamine. Deputy Mullins also saw through the wide open door Christy Fannin, who was a female wanted out of Martin County. She was standing in the kitchen with a male identified as Jerry Pentecuff sitting in the living room with Tackett. Now, at the time, Deputy Mullins placed Christy Fannin under arrest for her active warrants, and then Mullins and Deputy Prim detained David Tackett and Pentecuff for further inquiry and investigation, after which Tackett and Pentecuff were found to be in possession of methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia. The officers placed Tackett under arrest for possession of a controlled substance in the first degree and possession of drug paraphernalia, and Mullins was also the officer who arrested Jerry Pentecuff for possession of a controlled substance in the first degree, possession of drug paraphernalia, as well as for giving the officer a false identification number and or information. The second case goes on to the morning of Friday, around 4:39 a.m., just a few hours later, when Deputy Mullins then got another call at 695 Kentucky Route 1750. Now, this call was in reference to a man who had come to a lady's home acting very strange, saying that somebody was trying to kill him. Now, upon arrival of Deputy Mullins there at that scene, he saw the man as was identified and later identified him as Matthew Martin of Richmond, Kentucky, who was standing outside the home on the back porch. Martin told the officer that he didn't know where he was and that he was very paranoid, and he also told him that he had been drinking and taking Suboxone earlier that date, all the time exhibiting signs of being very under the influence. Failing field sobriety test, Deputy Mullins placed Martin under arrest for public intoxication, and while he was searching Martin, he found a large amount of crystal meth. He also found Martin to be in possession of multiple Suboxone strips as well. And that's not all that was recovered or attempted to have been recovered. The homeowner told the deputy that the man had run into her bathroom and tried to flush some methamphetamine down the toilet before he arrived. And that's where the deputy found another large quantity of crystal meth in the toilet that had failed to flush. Martin was lodged in the Big Sandy Detention Center on charges of public intoxication of drugs, possession of a controlled substance in the first degree, and possession of a controlled substance in the third degree. As of right now, they had recovered about 2 ounces of crystal methamphetamine. An ounce of crystal methamphetamine going for upwards of $150 a gram. That coming to about $8,500 worth of the illegal drug. A significant amount. And that investigation is still ongoing. Now, as for the case just this afternoon, Johnson County Sheriff's Deputy Bill Meade, who was assisted by Deputy Terry Tussey, both responded to a complaint of an active meth lab on Chet Tackett Hollow in the Boones Camp area.
Myself and Deputy Terry Tussey located an individual in a Dodge truck that had an active meth lab inside the vehicle with him. It's really a rarity, over the last little bit for these one-step labs. In the past, they were very prominent. I know whenever I was with Busy East, we responded to them, it seemed like every day. But the crystal meth has kind of replaced these one-step meth labs. And there's quite a dependency on it right now. Of course, a lot of this crystal meth is coming out of, Louisville, Lexington, and those areas.
Officers tell me that upon their arrival, they found 2 people in a Dodge pickup truck pulled over at a wide spot on the road, and they approached the truck to find that they could immediately see inside a one-step methamphetamine lab active and cooking in the seat next to the driver. After getting consent to search the vehicle, they found what they needed to manufacture the drug as well. Precursors such as Sudafed, lithium strips, lighter fluid, salt, cold packs, and other items. The officers contacted the Kentucky State Police DESI unit. They arrived on scene and dismantled the lab on site in a proper manner. And then Meade arrested 36-year-old Dusty Harless of Williamsport, who's charged thus far with public intoxication, being in possession of meth precursors, and manufacturing methamphetamine. More headlines in a moment. Right now, here's what's on tap, beginning with birthdays. Oh, how we like birthdays on tonight's Magoffin Farm Bureau Community Calendar. First one reads, happy belated birthday, happy belated 45th birthday, Cassie. That's Cassie McCarty with a lot of love from Dad and a long, long list of family and friends who all love you and wish you the best. Happy 45th, Cassie McCarty. And got 2 more to pass along to you tonight. One also a bit belated, it says, but please wish Connie Miller the happiest of birthdays from a long list of family and friends as well. Happy birthday to you, Connie. And lastly, this Monday, celebrating a birthday, Shirley Owens, with a whole lot of love from family and friends. Happy birthday to you. A quick reminder that Heritage Days will be here before you know it, the 30th through the 4th, and let me back that up a second. And if you want to have a food booth during which, you need to contact Syersville Fire Chief Paul Howard at 349-3256 or cell 791-3256. It's a flat $250 fee for the entire festival, the 30th through September the 4th, and you have to register and, of course, pay the fee. And probably the last time I might put this reminder out there, so to speak, so keep that in mind. And keep in mind, the bass tournament's coming up, sponsored by the Elk Creek Free Will Baptist Church on the 12th. That is Saturday, and it starts at 6 p.m., goes to 2 a.m. down on Cave Run. $1,000 for first place. The big prizes keep right on going down the list. Call 743-2211 if you want to get registered early. They have a big tournament, a big time, and big cash prizes for all those who participate. Well, all those who catch big fish and participate. I also just got this one in. North Magoffin Elementary Site-Based Council is going to meet in regular session this Wednesday, day after tomorrow, 4:30 in the school's conference room. I'll remind you again tomorrow. I've also got, not on the calendar, but coming up later on in the week, Appreciation Day at the Magoffin County Farmers Market coming up in a day or two. So we'll be telling you about that on the calendar. And if you've got a calendar announcement you want on the show, I would think everyone has heard me say this probably. I have to say it. I can't not say it. But if you want it, it doesn't cost anything. Birthdays and anniversaries too. Mail it, email, Facebook, phone, fax, drop it off. All you have to do is tell me, and we'll be sure to tell everyone about it. I'll be right back. Parkway Pharmacy, now open earlier from 8 a.m. until 6 in the evening to better suit your schedule and lifestyle, and to help you get better and live a healthier life. And if allergies are bogging you down, they're armed with the very best in over-the-counter relief for adults and your children. Reach owner pharmacist Jesse Rudd and his assistant pharmacist Megan Castle and their staff at 8 o'clock in the mornings or at 349-4400.
Hi, I'm attorney Jeff Lovely. At my law office, we're determined to offer you and your family outstanding, cost-effective, and responsive legal services. I can help you if you've been injured in a car wreck. I'll be in your corner if you have a DUI or other criminal charges. You can file bankruptcy and stop those harassing phone calls, or I'll fight for you and your children in divorce and custody cases. For all your legal services, contact me when it matters. In Syersville at 349-4522 and West Liberty at 743-1965.
August is hot, and so are the savings at Appalachian Wireless, where all smartphones are 50% off. The 64-gig Galaxy S8, normally $149.99, now $74.99. Sizzle! The GS8 Plus, normally $249.99, now $124.99. Scorchin'! Even the 64, 128, and 256-gig models, all 50% off. Volcanic! 50% off all smartphones while supplies last. 2-year agreement required. Better service, bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless, an East Kentucky network company.
Come by and check out this 2014 Jeep Compass 4x4, and come by and check out this luxurious, roomy, limited 2011 Town & Country. And this row of 2015 and 2016 Nissans and Fords and more, all like new, with low miles starting at $99.95. Check them all out at Broadway Auto Sales in Paintsville. Stop by the seasonal shop for the 2 biggest events of the season and find all the help, gifts, and decor you need with baby and wedding registry, something extra special for the new arrival or that little one turning 1 or more, and wedding registry, ideas, and planning for everything from the ceremony to gifts to the home. And the seasonal shop also has thoughtful ways to honor memories of loved ones lost, with personal and gravesite decorations that they'll gladly deliver to our local funeral homes. Find something to cherish all your memories at Fraser's Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop in downtown Sayersville. Here's another rare find at Gateway Motors. This Subaru Tribeca all-wheel drive loaded with third-row seating and more, and great deals and low payments, most under $200 on units like this 07 Santa Fe all-wheel drive, this 2012 F-150. How about this 08 Yukon all-wheel drive, 90,000 miles, a one-owner, and everything else on the lot at Gateway Motors in Sayersville. 349 cars. Briefly referred to at the top of the program, a great deal of work and details to gather on a great deal of reports from over the course of the weekend and today. And then I just have more to add, and we'll get to those beginning on tomorrow night's program. One other case that I can report on this evening is that of a Magoffin County man who became belligerent with authorities on 2 occasions, one at the Justice Center where she was arrested, and the other at her residence after authorities and DSS responded in regards to the possibility or the consideration of a welfare check on a child or children the following day. Arrest citations from the Magoffin County Sheriff's Department indicate that Sharon Shepard was found to be under the influence while in the Justice Center this past Thursday morning. Around 11 o'clock, officers say that she was in the facility and appeared to be under the influence, exhibiting glassy eyes, slurred speech, being very unsteady on her feet, and when she was questioned about doing so, she became very disruptive and non-compliant, and after being advised to calm down, to which she didn't, she continued to be disruptive and non-compliant and was taken into custody on site and taken to the Big Sandy Jail on public intoxication of drugs and disorderly conduct in the 2nd degree. Then the following afternoon, around 2:23, she faces similar and other charges. Trooper Zach Haney with the state police in his citation notes that he had responded to a residence on Route 3336 in Magoffin County with the Magoffin County DSS for possible drug use and domestic violence around children inside the home. Haney notes that upon their arrival, he and DSS officials that Shepard was outside and appeared to be manifestly under the influence while holding her 7-month-old child. She couldn't stand still, he says, described her as being very fidgety with pinpoint pupils. And then the DSS worker started explaining things to Shepard, who got very irate again. She started yelling and cussing at the authorities and DSS. And they tried to quieten her down and advised her that she was getting disorderly and out of control, but she continued to yell. She continued to curse the officer and the DSS personnel. And that's when Haney instructed her to hand her child over to her husband. And then she continued to yell and to cuss out the trooper, and she ran across the porch trying to get away from him. The husband then reportedly got the child, while Haney placed her in a wrist lock and was able to get one handcuff on an arm, noting that she literally had to be physically drugged into his cruiser. And once there, she started to beat on his cage, beat her head against the windows, and then laid down on her back and began to yell and continue to use foul language, trying to kick the window out of the car. Ultimately being charged with endangering the welfare of a minor, public intoxication of drugs, disorderly conduct in the second degree, and resisting arrest. So now let's talk about something that we always have to talk about, for better or worse. This time, well, it depends on how you look at it, I suppose. Let's see here. Not much rainfall accumulated in the past few hours here. There's been some light showers. They're slowly pulling out. We'll try to take a look at that here in just a second. I guess I'm doing this in a bit reverse tonight. It's Mondays, and Mondays are usually Mondays. Low of 62, mostly cloudy skies, but indeed those skies are going to be clearing and drying up, at least for your Tuesday. There's a look at those showers, which, as I said, are pulling on out of the area and on to the east. Clouds will follow suit as well. We'll continue to dry out over the course of the evening and not see any precipitation maybe till midweek. That means you've got a nice tomorrow in store. A very nice August the 8th day of fall. It's been the trend here as of late. It continues. We're going to see cool and dry air on the back side of the front that gave us the showers today. So those skies are going to start to clear during the overnight, be clear tomorrow. 78 degrees on your Tuesday is all we'll get to. Definitely a little bit below average. 56 for nighttime lows. And for Wednesday, another beautiful day in the neighborhood. We'll hit 80, maybe 82 or so. Nighttime lows, low 60s. A little fog at the beginning of your hump day, but a beautiful day in the neighborhood. 2 beautiful days in the neighborhood. Now, you do notice, and that's mainly after 11 or 12 o'clock late Wednesday night, we'll start to work in our next chance of showers. It's 20%, and it's so late that most of us aren't going to know anything about it, so we'll just say Tuesday, Wednesday, gorgeous. Now, as for your Thursday, well, that's when our next scenario and setup starts to take place. We'll see the clouds roll back in. We'll see with this system, we'll see about a 40% chance of showers continually Thursday and your Friday. Look at Thursday and Friday. That's not a misprint on my part, even though that happens. Look at the temperatures. Same, 80, 65, mostly cloudy, 40 and 40% chance of showers both days. So this system's going to be a slow changer that will, however, give way to a little bit of sunshine by your weekend. Right now, we'll go out on a little bit of a limb. It's Saturday after all, and odds are it will change between now and then, but I think a good bet is partly sunny skies, right around 82 degrees, with a continued 20% chance or so of some showers. And to be honest with you, that's going to be the least of the if you're looking at Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday's your driest day with that 20%, because of the time the latter part of the weekend rolls around, another front rolls into town and gives us more clouds and a really good shot of some showers. So, like I said, tomorrow and Wednesday, man, those are the 2 keepers in the bunch, and then we'll have to hope and hold on to maybe a little bit of sunshine returning ever so briefly for your Saturday. Down, and we're just getting started. A great deal of news, just like tonight and every other weeknight, that you're only going to find if you find us here on Your News Today. Good night, good Monday, and thanks for watching.